Okay, so today is such a rainy, nasty day outside. I really needed to finish the fence in the back, but it's just pouring down. All we have left to do for the fence is just put the cattle panels up. Yesterday I went and got the cattle panels, and I was really hoping we could get it all done, but it looks like the next 2 days are going to be so gross and rainy. So today is a perfect day to show you guys how to do chapstick. And I've put a poll out there on the YouTube page of what you guys wanted to see next, and you voted chapstick. So I will do the beard balm. Don't worry, I'll make a video on that too coming up. But I wanted to do this one first because that's what you guys wanted to see. The majority of you guys wanted to see first. Buddy really wanted me to do beard balm, of course, selfishly. But I just want to show you a little bit of what I've got going on here, and it's so simple, the chapstick recipe. And I'll show you what some of the tools I have, some of the ingredients I use, and that way you know what you want to do for yourself. Cool thing about today is I'm going to do some experiments that I've never done before, and I want to encourage you to also experiment. So that's why I'm going to do an experiment, so that you can see that just playing around with something new may lead to something great that may work for you in the future, or then you'll know not to do it in the future. I, first of all, want to show you these. I order it from Amazon, and they are empty tubes. They're empty chapstick tubes. So this is what we're going to use today to put our chapstick base inside of these. I did the math for you guys on the cost. Casca. She's scratching. I did the math for you guys so that you could know the cost ratio on ordering bulk and then making your own versus buying store-bought chapstick. I've never done the cost before. I really haven't. I knew that it was more cost effective to make your own, but I really did not understand the markup on these products that they're selling in the store. It's pretty crazy. You're not allowed to, no, you cannot be up here. She's still kind of a kitten, so we're learning boundaries and rules, by the way. So first of all, we've got our chapstick tube containers. I ordered these off of Amazon, but they do sell them in the craft store. Hobby Lobby, if you have Hobby Lobby, I've seen them in packs. I got this from Hobby Lobby just so you can see. We may do some of these, but they're also like little lip balm. They're different from chapstick, but I mean, you could pour your chapstick in these and that would work fine. This was $1.49 for 6 of these. And then the base that we're going to use today is coconut oil. Some of you guys have commented before that you're allergic to coconut oil. What can I use other than coconut oil? One thing that I have found that you can use as a replacement of coconut oil is something called babaso oil, B-O-B-A-S-O, I think, babaso, I don't know. But it's a palm nut oil. So if you're allergic to nuts, it's made from a palm seed. So I don't know if that would still be in the family for you of being an allergy. So I would just, before you use that substitute, look that up. But that's kind of the closest consistency that I have found to coconut oil if you're looking for an alternative. Just be careful with allergies if you're allergic to coconut oil. But this recipe for chapstick does call for coconut oil, beeswax, and a hard butter. So I have got cocoa butter. Nope, that's not it. Here's cocoa butter. I did use this in my whipped lotion recipe. If you want to look at whipped lotion, then you can look up this. Cocoa butter, or you can use shea butter. This is the one I have. Or today, I'm going to experiment with a new butter. This is a mango butter. Mango butter. And I was reading the back of this. I'll just read it to you really quick. Mango butter is both an all-natural vegetable fat and an excellent natural skincare product with soft, sweet-smelling, creamy butter with a very mild scent. And I did smell it, and it's nothing like shea or cocoa butter. Like, I think shea and cocoa butter have like a pleasant scent. This mango butter is kind of neutral. There's not really a scent to it. Mild scent. It is extracted from a deshelled fruit kernel of the mango tree. Mango butter has natural softening properties and is full of nourishing antioxidants and beneficial vitamins A, C, and E. Mango butter is commonly used in soap making, in skincare, and hair care products, and it can be used as is to provide relief from the dryness of eczema and psoriasis, which I have eczema, so I'm already a fan. So mango butter. We're going to try today with our chapsticks with mango butter because if you look at it, it's hard and it's a lot like the shea and cocoa butter consistency. So I figure it should probably have the same kind of properties, and we'll figure it out. So the 3 ingredients, again, beeswax, coconut oil, and then whatever butter you want to use, a hard butter. So, and now we're going to talk about extras that you can add in. That's just going to be your base. Like, you could leave it at that and have a really great chapstick. And it would just be a plain chapstick. What you can also add in extra is essential oils. So I've got vanilla or peppermint. I thought would be a nice touch, especially in the winter months. You know, peppermint's kind of soothing. So I'm going to try a vanilla, and then I'm going to try a peppermint and just mess around with, you know, I'll do like 3 to 5 drops in the mix just to give it a slight hint of a scent in it, and it'll be nice. It'll elevate it, I think. And then, so I've done chapsticks with essential oils before in the past, but another experiment that I'm going to do today that I've never done before is I'm going to tint my chapstick, some of them, I want to try some of them, with a tinting powder. And I bought these tints for soap making when I make soap, but I've never put them in chapstick. And they are safe for makeup use. So if you want to make your own makeups, these are safe. These are called, like I said, mica powders. And I went ahead and picked some of them out just so you could kind of see the colors that I picked out here. There's berry, cream, and cherry. I thought, for girls anyway, this would be kind of a nice color scheme to try, just like a light, especially for Alora, my daughter who loves to play in makeup, something kind of soft and girly would be good for her. So I'm going to add in some of these tints to my chapsticks to give it a little bit of a different touch. Mica powder is actually it's a mineral. It's a finely ground stone. I think it's in the quartz family, if I'm not mistaken. I cannot remember the whole name of mica. It's like something, I'll have to look it up. But so it's all natural. It's an all natural dye. It's made from a mineral stone that's just finely ground into a very, very fine powder. They come in all colors. Like I have a whole box of them for soaps. So it's like the whole array of colors. So we're going to try these today. And I know there's other natural dyes like beet juice and all that other stuff. But for chapstick today, I want to try with these. Okay, so what's the ingredients? Like, how much do you need? Very, very simple. It's all equal parts. So don't have to worry about this and that and this and that. 12 chapstick tubes. Just move this here. 12 of these. You can make 12 of these with this recipe, so you can easily double it as well. So I think this box, if you wanted to make a whole box at one time, oh, this is 50. This is a box of 50. You don't need to make 50 at a time. So if you just want to make 12, this recipe, you can make 12 of these. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, 2 tablespoons of beeswax, and 2 tablespoons of whatever hard butter. Melt it down, make sure it's all incorporated. Add your essential oils if you want, add your colored powder if you want, and then pour them into these. Let me tell you something that's key. Anything that you're going to use with this recipe, any spoon, any jar, any ladle, whatever you're going to use, you need to dedicate it to soap making or cosmetic making pretty much after that, because anything that beeswax is melted into or onto or used with, it is going to be nearly impossible to get it back off. So let me just show you one of the things that I use often for my stuff is I use this little pour container thing, and I use it over and over and over again for like my bee stuff. And this spoon that I use, I scooped out coconut oil, so you have like a little bit of coconut oil bits on it, but there's like wax permanently on this spoon. So I use this spoon. I keep these two together because I typically use these over and over again for anything that has to do with beeswax. So next step is we're going to take all of our ingredients, our 2 tablespoons of each, and combine them in I'm going to use a mason jar and melt them all together. Remember, whatever you're using to melt this all together, be prepared to keep it aside for future stuff or just toss it. So I'm going to use a mason jar, and then we will add in our essential oils and my color powder that I'm going to experiment with. So let's get that going. I went ahead and pre-measured out my ingredients that I'm going to use. So remember, these hard butters are difficult to actually scoop out with like a tablespoon per se. So I use my scale. This is the one I use. I just put my little ramekin down and I zeroed out the scale, and then I cut up my butter until it equaled 1 ounce. So 1 tablespoon is half an ounce. So if we're using 2 tablespoons, then you're going to need 1 ounce of each ingredient. So we've got 1 ounce of my mango butter, 1 ounce of coconut oil, and 1 ounce of beeswax. I will show you the beeswax that I have bought in the past. And you're like, Steph, you're a beekeeper. Why do you have this beeswax? I bought this beeswax a long time ago, and it comes in little pellets. Really simple to use, really simple to measure out this way. I do have beeswax from my bees, and I use these a lot with my soaps. I actually bought this before I had my own bees, but because they're already in pellet form, it's just easier and quicker for them to melt down. This I'll have to chop up into little pieces, which is fine. It's just going to take a little bit longer for it to melt because it's in larger chunks. So you can either use your own beeswax if you have it, or you can buy already pelleted beeswax. They also come in bars. So whatever you decide to do, beeswax. So I've got my beeswax, mango butter, coconut oil, and now we're going to melt it together. I have my mason jar. You can melt it, you can put it all together and put it in the microwave and just set it for like 30 seconds, stir it, set it for 30 seconds, stir it, set it for 30, kind of like those chocolates that you melt down. I'm just going to do a double boiler type thing here and set my mason jar down in the pot. And kind of a trick I learned when canning is while it's bubbling and stuff, you don't want it to tip over. I put a ring down on the bottom, and then I just set my mason jar on top of it, and it gives it a little bit like a seat to sit on, and it's a little bit more stable that way. Just don't get any water inside the jar. You want that just to be your oils. So I'm going to set this here, and I'm going to get my pan going. I'm going to heat it up to a simmer, and I'm going to go ahead and add in my ingredients now so that once the water starts to warm up, it will help melt everything down. Let me get my spoon. Don't go anywhere. So I could probably just plop down in there. I'm not going to add in my essential oils yet. I'm going to do that last, and I'll tell you why. Essential oils have something called a flash point. A flash point is a temperature in which the oil will just evaporate, or the scent will no longer be there because it's too hot. I learned that in soap making. So when I added in essential oils to my soaps to give it a smell, I had to wait for the soap to cool to a certain temperature before I could add in my essential oils. You could add them in all day long, but they just won't have a very strong scent because it will evaporate. So I'm going to wait to add those in so I don't risk them evaporating. We're just going to wait till this starts to heat up. We're going to just mix it. Let's just start mixing it. Once it's all combined into one liquid, I'm going to pour it into another container that I'm going to then pour into my chapstick containers. This is what I use. And I know it looks messy, but it's what I use. It's got this little spout, and it's easier to kind of put them in the little jars. I'm also going to put down either a paper towel or a cutting board or something and set my little chapsticks on. There are little stands. They almost look like little test tube stands that you can set your chapsticks in because you have to hold it and then you have to pour it. I don't have a stand. I'm not that fancy. I'm okay with making a little bit of a mess. Just know, as soon as your mixture goes into your container, it is going to start to solidify. If you don't, you got to move fast. Once you put it in something that's not keeping it melted down, the beeswax really starts to harden and solidify pretty quickly. So you're going to want to try to, don't move so fast that you're going to spill it everywhere, but just, you can't set it down and walk away, and then it's just going to be hard as a rock. So just know that you're going to need to work pretty quickly once you get it in your container. Now, while this is starting to heat up, I'm going to go ahead and set up my chapsticks. Okay, it's only been boiling now for maybe a minute or two, and it's already starting to really come together and liquefy. There's beeswax, little pellets still in there. The mango butter has melted almost completely, so we're just going to be waiting on the beeswax. Doesn't really have a smell. It's just kind of a neutral oil smell. But what I wanted to tell you is I did the math for you guys on chapsticks. Let me grab my sticky notes because I found this interesting. So those containers that I just showed you, you can get a 25 pack. I just went to Amazon because it's easier that way. A 25 pack of containers is $8. Beeswax, I found a 6 ounce. I tried to do like small quantities. 6 ounces was $7. Coconut oil, $6 for 7 ounces. Cocoa butter, I found an 8 ounce variety for $9. So all that together, that was $8, $7, $6, $9, $30, okay? For those the containers, the beeswax, the coconut, and the cocoa butter, $30. If you divide that by 25, which is the amount of containers that you have, you're looking at $1.20 per chapstick. If you just do that base, if you just do a normal base, if you don't add any essential oil in it or anything like that. Now, shea butter was even cheaper than cocoa butter. So I did like a price range. You could make a chapstick for $1.12 or $1.20, depending. And just keep in mind too, like when you buy in bulk, so like these are the smaller ounces, 6 ounces, 7 ounces, but when you buy more of it, it tends to be, the price is more expensive, but you get more product for cheaper amounts. So just kind of know that. Now, I saw an essential oils pack for $9 and that mica powder pack for $9. So if you added all that together, you're looking at your chapstick being around $1.92. So still, one chapstick is going to be less than $2. So then I looked up a pretty popular, well-known chapstick company. I won't say their name, but they kind of pride themselves as being like a beeswax base chapstick. And one of their chapsticks, just one, was $3.99, $4. And that was the cheapest one I could find because they've got like 4 packs. I think the 4-pack was, there was a 4-pack, the cheapest one was $6.59 from Target, and then some of them, the same exact 4-pack, went all the way up to $11. So if you take the markup of what they're charging for their beeswax chapsticks, that is a 257% markup on just the base model single chapstick. Now, they do have, this is all melted now, so I can turn this off. If you look at the ingredients on the back, they're going to have a lot more than just 3 ingredients. They're going to have like, I think there was like 7 different types of oils. And of course they have like labels that they put on their chapsticks and things like that. But they buy all that in bulk. So it probably still comes out to be way cheaper when you produce it in the masses like that. But just to think that like you can make your own chapstick for pretty much $1, or you can buy this very similar chapstick for $4 in the store. When you're doing stuff for yourself and being more self-sustainable, I think it just makes sense to do it yourself and put in a little bit of upfront cost. It was what, I said $30 to make 25, and then you'll have a bunch of stuff left over. You're going to have leftover beeswax, leftover coconut oil, leftover cocoa butter or shea butter or whatever you decide, whatever butter. You're still going to have a bunch of that left over because that was 8 ounces, 7 ounces, 6 ounces of that stuff. And it only calls for 1 ounce to make 12 chapsticks. So all you would need to do is buy more containers at that time, and you would still have leftover product to make more chapstick. So to me, it just makes sense to make it yourself instead of buying expensive store-bought products that you really don't know what goes into them. Sure, they can put it on the ingredients list. They can say it's all organic or whatever, but you know, unless you make it yourself, you don't really truly know. And this is just a little bit more eco-friendly, I think, and more reassuring that you know exactly what's in your stuff. This is all melted. So I'm going to take you back over here, and then we are going to add in our essential oils and our color powder and see how that turns out. Okay. I have my little chapsticks right here. I went ahead and put the pot over here just to keep it warm because I can't move super fast while I'm explaining and doing. So I'm going to try to keep it from solidifying as long as I can. Get a little pour cup. Got my essential oils. And I think I'm going to do half and half. So I'm going to do half of them just in neutral. I'll put in some essential oil, but I'll have it to where I don't want to tint them all. Buddy, I don't think would appreciate a cherry tinted lip gloss. Maybe he would. I don't know. But I think I'm just going to do a plain base chapstick for the men folk. And then I'll do some fancy ones for the ladies. So let me do half of that, and I'll put a vanilla scent in for all of them because I think that would be nice. I'm just going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops. It's a very light, mild scent. It wasn't like a whole lot where it'll be too overpowering or anything. So this is going to be kind of a difficult thing because I'm going to try to guesstimate what half of this is. It's okay if it's not exactly half. I'll just, whatever's left over, I just have to start working quickly. So let's see how many I can get done in this. Can you guys see? I went ahead and took off all the caps beforehand so that it was easier for me to come around to you so you can kind of see. So I could do this kind of quickly. Try to leave a little bit of space at the top. Okay, I got about 5. That's good. That's fine with me. Because already this has started to cool off the beeswax and it's already molded to the side of my jar. So I want to take the rest and I'm going to add in some of this powder. I don't know how much. I'm just going to do a little bit because I think a little goes a long way. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in here and see, mix it together and just see what happens. Whoop. So it's kind of shimmery, which is kind of cool. I'm going to put in a little bit more. I can't even tell you how I would measure that. I mean, it's just like kind of like tapping it in, like sprinkling it in. Can you see how it's a different color? Kind of got like a it's very swirly. Interesting. This may be a fail. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And if it is, that's okay. So let me bring this over to you guys so you can see how it pours. I'm just going to pour it all in here. We'll see how it goes. It kind of has like a lemonade tint to it. Like a pink lemonade, not like a yellow lemonade. Or maybe a strawberry lemonade. Ooh, if you had like a strawberry, like essential oil, like a strawberry scent, that would be really cool to use with this powder. This is like drying really, really quickly. So I may pop this into the microwave and see if I can't melt it down a little bit more. Yeah, because it's already starting to congeal the bottom. So I'm going to try to melt this down and see if I can get a little bit more out of it. Okay, guys, that worked. I was able to remelt it down together. And now I'm just going to continue to pour in my little containers. Till they're all filled up. Okay, I kind of just put them everywhere. Because I was trying to work so quickly, but I was actually able to make more than 12. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that made 16 chapsticks with that amount of ingredients that I used. And the first ones are already solidified and done. So I will just put caps on these. Call it a day. Give them out as gifts. You could put a little sticker on them, like a label. I have gotten some shrink wrap. They have chapstick shrink wrap wrappers that you just, it's like a sleeve and you slide it on top of them and then you kind of blow dry it and it shrinks to them so that if you were to like sell them or open up like a store or whatever, you could know that they're tamper proof so that no one's used them on themselves. And so I've done that before in the past, but with like for yourself or if you're just giving them out as like to family and friends or whatever, you don't really have to go out like that. But so this is how this one turned out. I kind of want Buddy to be a tester because I want an honest opinion on the mango butter, like as far as like the consistency goes. You need an independent third party. Let me see. So these turned out really cute. They just have, I guess I could have added more of a tint, but it's just a light pink rose tint to it. I don't know that you're going to be able to really tell a difference, like as far as like dye goes for your lips, like a true lipstick. Maybe if I added a whole bunch more, but it just gives it kind of a nice rosy, it's just a different color. I like it. I don't mind it. So, yeah. And they dry so quick, and you just pop a lid on them, call it a day. And how much money would this be in the store? And this is like, I don't even know, like how much chapstick do you go through in a winter? But I have like a car chapstick, I have a purse chapstick, I have a by my bedside chapstick, I have by my toothbrush chapstick, I have chapstick everywhere. I have like chapstick in my gym bag. I lose chapstick. Somehow chapstick rolls underneath my floorboard and I find chapstick under there too. But yeah, I mean, you could have a chapstick for every car, every purse, every glove compartment. Would you like to test a pink chapstick or would you like to test a non-pink chapstick?
Non-pink.
No? Okay. What do you think about this color though? This is the first time I've ever attempted to dye my chapstick.
It's a cool color, yeah. I like it.
It's kind of like rose. It's like got a rose tint to it. I use this. Mm-hmm. This is actually called cherry, but I just put it in there and it kind of came out tinted like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't think it's going to be enough to actually give your lips a tint, but it's just a different, maybe if I added more.
Well, maybe we'll try this one, see if it tints my lips.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What's the consistency like?
Chapstick.
A chapstick consistency?
Mm-hmm.
Is it too soft, too hard? How do you, does it glide on pretty good?
Glides on fine, yeah. It just feels like any other chapstick. Maybe a little bit more firm than a normal chapstick, but not like hard or anything.
No, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good.
And it doesn't look like you're wearing lipstick. What about me? Do I still have the same lips?
You have the same lips as you did earlier.
But is the color the same?
Yeah, the color's the same.
Good news, my lips are the same.
It doesn't give you new lips?
Mm-mm. but it's very smooth. So I did 2 new things.
Mm-hmm.
I used a different butter, because before I've used cocoa butter and shea butter, but this is mango butter.
Mango butter.
This is mango butter, coconut oil, and beeswax. That's all it is.
How do you milk the mangoes to get the butter?
Okay.
You asked for it.
No, I didn't. I did not. I asked Buddy what he thought, but I don't know if he'd be like 100% honest with me. So I'm gonna ask Kim, because I feel like she'd be honest with me. She's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna ask her.
Don't get me all of me. Just do here up.
I am doing here up.
Okay.
What are you doing right now?
I'm making biscuits.
What kind of biscuits?
I am. Get away!
Oh! I
I
have something for you to try.
Well, let me try what you got.
Okay.
What do you got?
So I made chapsticks today. It's a good day to stay inside and do stuff like
it's
that
nasty
because it's
out.
gross and rainy and I can't work on my fence. So I said I will just do an indoor thing. And I made chapsticks. And you know I've made chapstick in the past.
With your beeswax.
With my beeswax. But I did something different this time.
Okay.
So I experimented.
So I'm experimenting and you're experimenting.
Yes, we're both experimenting. But
Completely different things.
Yeah. So here's 2 chapsticks.
2 different ones. I can see one is pink. You put a tint in it?
Yes, that was one thing I did different. I added a little bit of a tint, but it wasn't enough to like actually
change your color of your mouth.
Exactly.
Okay.
So try it on and just see if you like the texture of it.
Yes.
Good. So they're both the same. Just this one has a pink and that one's not. I figured Levi probably would want the one without the tint.
Well, I'll just put them in my purse and I'll use them when I need them.
Yeah. So there you have it. It works. Feels good on the mouth.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
Has a nice rose tint to it that doesn't really do a lip stain or anything like that. I guess you could add more. But yeah.
Very nice. Good job, babe.
Chapstick for days and days and months and years. Chapstick's coming out of your ears. Make a poem about chapstick. You can make jokes, I'll make poems. All right. Thanks for watching.